Hi ladies, so today I am 38 weeks and 3 days pregnant. So I'm just going to go ahead and fill you in on what happened from the last time I filmed a vlog until today. The most pregnant I've ever been is 39 weeks, so that would be in 4 days. So we'll see when this baby comes. But let's see what's been going on. I would definitely say like some nesting has kicked in. I steam cleaned like all our carpet in our house. I would say that was like the big project this week because it's kind of labor intensive. But I've been keeping up on cleaning and things like that just because I want to come back to a clean, organized house once we get home from the hospital. So that, and I pretty much have everything packed now for the hospital, the car seats in the car, all of those kinds of things. So we're just kind of waiting and ready and hope to meet this little one soon. But I know like I could go for weeks more, so you know, it is what it is. But we're hoping, you know, if he's ready, we're ready to meet him soon. I am like really tired during the day. I want to try to take a nap like every day, but my kids don't nap, so I don't get to, but I wish I did. And the hardest thing for me is I get sore when I sleep. So I get about 3 or 4 hours of like good sleep, but then my hips and my back start aching so bad that like I just need to get up. So when I was pregnant with the other kids, the same thing happened, but I could sleep 4 hours at night and then 4 hours during the day because when I was pregnant with Connor, I didn't have any kids to watch during the day. When I was pregnant with Annie, he was 2 and he was still napping, so I would nap when he napped. My kids are being a little naughty over there. They're kind of fighting, and it's been raining here, and they want to get out, but I mean, it's been like flooding here, so yeah, they're just getting kind of cabin fever. We hope to get outside and run some energy off today. But I don't remember what I was saying. Oh, sleep. Yeah, so I used to be able to sleep in pregnancy, and now I really can't unless I can talk them into taking a nap, which I've been able to do one time. On the 4th of July, we all took a nap so we could stay up and see the fireworks. That was about the only way we were going to make it to the fireworks, if we took a nap. So, tiredness, contractions are like more frequent, and how they feel is changing. I feel them mostly in my cervix, and I don't know how typical that is for people. For me, like Braxton Hicks are like a little achy back and a lot of pressure, but not too much pain. And then when I went into labor with my daughter, I was induced with my son, so that's a different story. But when I went into labor with my daughter, the contractions, I didn't even notice really my belly getting hard as much as I did pain in my cervix. So cervical contractions is like where I, would feel most of the pain. And I've definitely had some of those. And yeah, so they're not like frequent enough where I would think, oh, this might be labor, but definitely like I get them every day now. The baby my list is over here. That's what I'm looking at. The baby definitely has like more. He acts a lot more like a newborn these days. He has long periods of rest and then periods of wakefulness. So he's acting a lot more like a newborn would in regards to sleep. So that's been interesting to kind of see like that change in him. And during the day, I'm kind of like pretty busy with the kids and stuff, and I don't really notice the pattern as much during the day because I'm focused on other things. But at night, um, he definitely wakes up around 3 and around 5, and I'm up usually until 12 or 1, just because if I would go to bed earlier, I'd wake up like crazy early and be in pain, and then that wouldn't be fun. So, um, yeah, so it's interesting because that's like about the times I remember waking up to nurse my other kids in the night. Um, was kind of like in intervals like that, and that's his pattern right now. Um, I didn't write this down, but today especially, I've been feeling out of breath. Um, I don't know what that's about because he's low, so I'm not sure why I'm feeling so out of breath today. But I am. So um, I'm feeling more overall pressure. Like we've had a couple trips to the grocery store and things like that, and about an hour into whatever I'm doing on my feet, the pressure is like almost too much. Like I just feel his head and my pelvis just kind of like grinding down, and I'm like, okay, we're done. Like I need to lay down and get him out of my pelvis for a few minutes. So yeah, he's definitely still low, and I had an appointment this week, and I am still 2 centimeters dilated, 50% effaced, but my cervix has moved more anterior. It's moving forwards, so that's good. There are different kinds of progress in labor. You have like the baby is part of it, like how low the baby is. And then you typically like you'll efface, you'll thin out, and then you'll dilate, then the cervix opens. And then sometimes before you can efface and dilate though, the cervix will point towards your back, and then as your body is getting ready for labor, sometimes in labor, I've had mamas in labor with posterior cervix, and they have contractions and they don't make change and they get discouraged. But their cervix will go from posterior, pointing towards the back, to anterior, moving forwards. And that's actually significant change. So even though you hear you're the same dilation, a lot of people don't ask about that, and nurses won't tell you about that in labor. And you can get discouraged, like, oh, I'm doing all this work for nothing. But really, it's a good sign of change. So I'm happy that my cervix is moving forwards, and it's half thinned out and 2 centimeters open. So that's good. And my doctor did not do a membrane strip or sweep. But I would say she was like slightly more aggressive when she checked me this week than last week. And so as a result of that, I'm losing more mucus. Plug, which I told you, I think it regenerates. So, that's kind of to be expected when you're checked. And there's no blood in it yet, so I don't think it means anything progress-wise. And then on Tuesday night, after I went to bed, I was like fine, and I woke up and my stomach kind of hurt, but I never got sick. It's just one of those things, like if I ate and then I lay a certain way and the baby like squishes my stomach, it'll kind of give me a stomach ache. And so like I got up for a while and kind of like propped myself up to get the baby off my stomach, and I noticed, because I was awake, that I was having contractions, and they were regular, and so I started timing them, and they were 11 minutes apart, and they lasted around a minute and a half, and that went on for 3 hours. So I didn't think it was labor because they weren't getting more painful, and they weren't getting closer together. When I'm actually in labor, usually I notice that they start coming sooner and getting more painful. So they were painful contractions, but they didn't get more regular or more painful. So after about 3 hours, because they were spaced out 11 minutes, after about 3 hours of like kind of my stomach hurting and having contractions, I fell back asleep. And when I woke up in the morning, I wasn't having them anymore. So, yeah, but that happened a couple times before I went into labor with Annie. So, sometimes when you start and stop labor like that, it can mean the baby is in a bad position. Not like breech, but maybe not facing the right way. And so I've been doing some optimal fetal positioning exercises, just like, sorry, my dog is down here being loud now. You know, sitting on the ball, watching how I sit in a chair, and then a couple things to kind of help move baby around. Give the baby more room in my pelvis to turn if he wants to. So hopefully that kind of reduces prodromal labor that I am used to with other babies. Prodromal labor is kind of where labor stops and starts a lot before it continues and results in birth. So, yeah, so that's what's been going on this week. That's my whole list. I will show you the belly, and maybe I'll see you next week. Maybe you'll see a baby next week. I don't know. But I will try to post, like, you know, little updates and things as we approach having baby, and when baby is born, I'll definitely put a little clip in here. So let me show you the belly. Can you guys see Georgie? Oh. One thing, George thinks something is going to happen soon. I don't know how many of you guys have pets, but that night that I had this stop and start labor, before I went to bed that night, George, like, he sat next to me, and he was sitting on the floor and I was on the couch, and he fell asleep sitting up with his head on my leg, and he was like snoring. He was like really out, but he wanted to just be as close as he could. And then he also, when he was awake, he kept like rubbing his head on my belly and like getting as close as he could to me. And when I was like brushing my teeth and stuff when I went to bed, I looked in the mirror and I had dog hair all over my belly because he was just like really into my belly. Like, he was thinking something was going to happen. So this is the first time I've had a dog and been pregnant. We adopted him, so that's why he's older. But yeah, so it's interesting to see what he thinks of it all. Huh, Georgie? Yeah, buddy boy. I know. So that's been kind of neat to see him. All right, can you stand up? Stand up. Come on. Thank you, sir. Oh, goodness. All right, so I know I wear this shirt a lot, but it's a shirt that is you can't see this end, and I can wear my comfortable bra with it, so I wear it all the time. Look at Georgie. You looking at my belly? So this from the side, front, and most of my shirts now don't cover my whole belly. They come to like here. So that's been fun, trying to keep this covered. There you go. There's little baby. It's kind of hard to, there you go. Let's pull my shirt a little tighter there. So there he is. Big belly. Front. And from the other side. Well, thanks for watching, and I will see you next week, either with an update or with the baby. Bye!